Hey there, math students. Welcome to Math Task 13A, translating and evaluating algebraic expressions. So yesterday we were combining like terms, understanding the breakdown of expressions with like coefficients. Those are numbers that are attached to variables. Constants, those are numbers that are all by themselves. And again, combining like terms by changing everything from subtraction to adding the opposite. So today what we're going to be doing is actually breaking down when you hear somebody say types of words, being able to translate that to an algebraic expression and practicing more evaluating. What you're going to really need today is your general math reference sheet up here in the upper right hand corner. You have all these words that help you understand if you're working with something that's with addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. So you want to go back and forth between that today. Now, there are a couple of, as we call, switch or flip phrases. Less than is one of them. So if I write 5 less than x, it is not 5 minus x because less than means subtraction. It really means x minus 5. Let's think about that. 5 less than 12, right? That would mean, okay, if I took 12 and I took 5 less than that, that would be 12 minus 5. So whenever you see the less than, don't write it as you see it. What you're really going to want to do is flip those two terms and write it as x minus 5. So this is the correct way. Subtracted from is another one, right? 10 subtracted from 12. That's not going to be 10 minus 12. You're going to want to flip it. And you're going to want to say, oh, that's really 12 minus x, or 12 minus 10 in the case I just gave you. And goes into. 10 goes into y. That's not 10 divided by y. That is actually, flip those two, really means y divided by 10. Okay, so let's practice a bunch of these, and we'll get very good at it. So the sum of 5 and g. So the key phrase in this one is sum, and if I look over at my chart, I can see sum is addition. So that's how you use the chart. So key phrase is sum of. The operation I know is addition, and the expression that I create is just 5 plus g. You could also write g plus 5 because the commutative property of addition says you can flip stuff around, right? The product of 8 and k. So again, go over in my chart. I'm looking for product. Up there it is, multiplication. So product of is the key phrase. And the operation is multiplication. There's a whole bunch of different ways to write this. One way that you need to get used to is writing the coefficient right next to the variable 8k. That does mean multiplication. Or you could write 8 dot k. Notice I'm not going to do 8 times k because then that time sign kind of looks like a variable x. So you're going to rarely see that anymore when it comes to math, especially in algebra. Let's do another one. All right, 7 less than w. When you see that less than, you should think, alert, alert, this is a switch phrase, right? We just talked about that. So if I go over here, we know that less than is a subtraction phrase. So again, less than was my key phrase. And the operation is subtraction. But you're not going to write it as 7 minus w. No, 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 no. You got to flip it, right? So w minus 7. And that's the only way you can write that, right? And last one, one more to get. 8 divided by y. I don't even have to look at my reference sheet on this one. Divided by is obviously the key phrase. The operation is division. And the expression can be written in a couple ways. 8 divided by y, that's one way. 8 slash y, that's another way. Or as a fraction, 8 over y. And all of those can be 8 divided by y. So you are now going to go ahead and do some on your own. Sometimes you'll have multiple operations in it. So like we have key phrases here of less than and also another key phrase of a product of 3 and j. So like here we're working with subtraction and multiplication. Remember that less than phrase means you need to flip it, right? So this 5 less than can go all the way over here, and the product of 3 and j is actually going to come front. So like The product of 3 and j, that's 3j less than 5 minus 5, right? So be very careful how you read that. And the rest you can go ahead and practice.